Hello, good afternoon and welcome to a glorious afternoon here in Silverstone for race 2 of this weekend's Formula Renault Eurocup. After a great race yesterday, we've had some rain overnight, but the track's been clearing and it's going to be an absolutely fantastic day for racing today. Yesterday, Will Palmer of RSGP extended his points advantage in the general classification with his win in race 1 at Silverstone. Starting second, the Englishman made the most of troubles of pole winner Max Duforny of RSGP as well. He claimed thus his second success of the season ahead of Enrique Chavez and Robert Schwartzman of RSGP as well. Renault Sport Academy driver Max Vertrel won among the rookies and he was 4th overall. Track temperature 20 degrees, humidity 44% at the moment, so very, very good conditions for racing. Yesterday, Duforny suffered a clutch problem just after the start and had to retire after starting from pole. The safety car then came out following contact between the Red Bull Junior team driver Neil Verhagen and Renault Sport Academy member Jarno Opmeer from MP Motorsport, both those drivers from the same team. Coming along the grid right now, Daniel Tichter from Arden Racing, car number 33. And he's going to be starting a little bit further back on the grid from the start. He's on second position. On the pole position for this race is Robert Schwartzman, car 10. A little bit of drama in the qualifying as Max Duforny was pushed back a little bit on the grid, unfortunately, after an incident during qualifying. We're not too sure exactly what happened there. Provisional qualifying this morning had quite different times between the two qualifying practices. They started with qualifying practice 2B, with Duforny actually putting in the best time, but it was a 2:13.181. Track still quite damp, and the car's going out on slicks. Fenestra's got the second best time of that first round with 2:13.432. As we rock up the grid and check out the cars as they're getting ready for the start. Car 8, and that's Will Palmer, who did so well yesterday in the RSGP car. In the other provisional qualifying this morning, Schwartzman did put in the best time. He put in a 2:02.124, so much faster, as you can see, than the first times. But as we said, the track drying out, so that made it a lot easier for them. Tichtum putting in the second best time at 2:03.046. We're going to be hearing from Schwartzman in just a moment about how he feels about this race.
Will it be pole to finish for you?
Well, yeah, the quali was great. Now we just need to concentrate for the race and just do our job and win.
Good luck for the race. Thank you.
Absolutely. One of 3 Russian racers here backed by SMP Racing. Driver from St. Petersburg on the grid there. He switched teams over the winter, having raced for Joseph Kaufman Racing in 2016, the team that won the team championship last year. As we look down through the grid, and we can quickly go through. Car number 10 is on first position on the grid. That's the RA's car of Robert Schwartzman. In second position on the grid, it's the Arden car number 33 of Daniel Tichter. In third position, it's Sascha Fenestras of the Joseph Kaufman Racing team in car 11. Also on the second row is Will Palmer, who, as we said, did so well yesterday. He's in car 8. They're followed by Ghislaine Cordial in car 34. Max Duforny in car 9, as we said, a little bit pushed back due to some problems in qualifying. Gabriel Aubry in car number 4 is first on the 4th row. Alongside him, Raul Guzman in the RSGP car. They're followed by Richard Verschoor in the MP Motorsport car number 29. And Tech 1 Racing, Max Vertrel, car number 7, also on the 5th row on the grid. Looking at the 6th row, it's JD Motorsport, Alexander Vertainen. And alongside him is Joseph Kaufman Racing's Lewis Leeds in car number 2. They're followed by Alex Peroni and Presley Martono, Alexei Kornev, Enrique Chavez, Thomas Maxwell, and Yifei Yi, the Chinese driver in the Joseph Kaufman Racing car. On the 10th row, Rodrigo Fluker in the AVF car by Adrian Vanes. Alongside him, Zane Goddard in the Arden Racing car number 93. For Tech Motorsports, Naji Razak is on row 11. Alongside him, AVF by Adrian Vanes car Alex Matos in car 15. As they head off for the first formation lap of this second race of this weekend's racing in Silverstone, the fourth race of the season. And as we said, under perfect racing conditions here at Silverstone. Warming up the tyres. Yesterday, race leader Will Palmer controlled the field right from the restart after the yellow flag, and from lap 3 all the way through the rest of the race, he controlled the race. He led from Enrique Chavez, Robert Schwartzman, Max Fertrell and Alex Matters. Palmer actually pulled away very well during that race yesterday and won with more than a 6-second gap ahead of Enrique Chavez and Robert Schwartzman at the end of the race. On his way to his maiden podium result, the Portuguese driver had to fend off the attacks of the SMP Racing protege, who in turn was followed closely by Max Fertrell and Sasha Fenestras of Joseph Kaufmann Racing. In the run-up to the race today, we've seen some quite pertinent tweets as well from some of the drivers. Will Palmer yesterday saying, second win in a row today, great to do it on home soil too, aiming for more of the same tomorrow. So Will definitely in, well, he's in 4th place on the grid, so it will be very, very tough for him to get through and take a win, but let's hope Will gets onto the podium at any case. Max Deforny said he had a technical problem and he was gutted yesterday, and then today he retweeted again saying he was gutted again because of the problem with qualifying. Fenestras mentioned that he had a little mistake in qualifying that put him off to P9 yesterday. In race 1 managed to finish P5, so that was also quite a good performance for Fenestras yesterday. So he wants to keep his focus for today's race 2. As we go down through the grid positions on the screen, the car's getting ready for a start for this second race on what we said was a very, very nice Sunday here in Silverstone. Reminder that leading the championship at the moment, RAce GP has a very wide lead over Joseph Kaufmann Racing, last year's winners. They're on 117 points with Joseph Kaufmann on 58. And in the Drivers' Championship, Will Palmer is now leading after a win in race 2 and race 3 of the series. He also got points in race 1, so he's on 62 points. In second position, it's Fenestras with 46. And close behind him, Robert Schwartzman on 40 points. Then a little way back to Max Deforny on 25 points, Enrique Chavez on 24, Max Fertrell on 20 points, Gabriel Aubry on 19 points, and Alex Peroni is in 8th position on 16 points as they line up on the grid, ready to race for this second race of the weekend here in Silverstone. Preparing for the start, minded Robert Schwartzman on number 1 position on the grid, Russian driver with Tick Turn in 2nd position in car number 33. All's quiet on the grid, preparing for the start. Last cars dribbling in, getting into position. And they're revving up, ready for the start. They're off and racing in race 2 here in Silverstone. And it looks like a clear start as they go through the first corners, with Schwartzman leading the field. And it looks like we've got a few changes happening up the front. Car number 33, Arden Tick Turner's already gone through into the lead. Ahead of car 10 of Schwartzman, Tick Turner's taken the lead after less than 10 seconds of racing. Coming up on the outside, we've also got Will Palmer putting in an effort to get into 3rd place. He started 4th. Looks like he's getting through into 3rd place. He's pushing around on the outside. Palmer looking on the outside, but he's not getting through. He's still in 4th position. Palmer coming through. Palmer coming through on the inside now for 3rd position. Palmer comes through and takes 3rd. Palmer into 3rd position. Schwartzman goes out wide on that corner. Now going back into 3rd position as the places are changing from one lap to another, and race and car number 10 now in 1st position. Schwartzman taking back the lead. What an exciting start to this second race of the weekend as Schwartzman brakes heavily, smoke coming out of that front tire going through. and he's doing everything he can to keep the lead. There's a lot of toing and froing going in the fourth and fifth places as well, just behind. A battle happening now for third. As the two front runners, it's a battle again between car number 8 and car number 10. It's Will Palmer going through, trying to take first place now after a very short space of time in this race. Palmer attacking Robert Schwartzman. As the rest of the field comes through, it's been a clean start, but what an exciting start to this race. Now action happening for third place, with Tickturn pushing to get back through. Cars going out wide there as well. Schwartzman, Palmer, Tickturn. Tickturn's gotten back through into third place at the moment. And car number 11 has gone off wide. That's Sasha Fenestraz in the Joseph Kaufman racing car. He's gone off for a bit of an off-road sortie, but is back on the track as the first two cars keep very close. Schwartzman holding his lead, but Will Palmer breathing down his neck. And a reminder that if you start from fourth position on the grid, it's extremely difficult to get through and get a win in one of these Formula Renault 2.0 races. And so if Palmer manages to get through, that's going to be very, very good for him indeed, especially for the championship, as he comes in here, as we said, with a very strong lead already, 62 points ahead of 46 for Fenestraz. Fenestraz back in fourth position at the moment. There's toing and froing going on a little bit further back. Car number 23. That's Alexander Vartanyan in the JD Motorsport car, trying to get out the round. But whereas yesterday we saw Will Palmer prancing along in the lead, today it's not quite the same scenario, because it looks like Schwartzman is able to hold his own, but a big gap back now to car 33. The Arden racing car of Daniel Tickturn, who started from second position but lost some space as he went off-road a little bit. Flashback, replay. Front wing on car number 33, as we can see, got touched going through there, and this is obviously affecting Tickturn's downforce coming through at the moment. It's going to make things very difficult for him.
And in 8th place, number 29, and that is the car of
33 Tickturn, trying to hold off the pressure on him from car number 9, Max Duforny. Duforny that started a little bit further behind, but he's been very, very performant in these last couple of races. It looks like he will have a chance to get through if that front wing is indeed damaged, as it might be on Tickturn's car.
I'm just wondering whether Henry Charles is the one that called the yellow flag before where he started. Henry Charles is not coming
through with a gap of very, very small gap of 0.543 seconds between the two front runners, then 3 seconds back to Tickturn, but just 0.3 of a second behind him to Duforny. So we've really got a battle happening for first place and a battle happening for third at the moment. Daniel Tickturn from Arden Racing. He's the current Red Bull Junior team member as well, one of the Red Bull Junior members racing here, competing in this Eurocup. He was signed to the Red Bull Junior team for the 2017 season. He made a return to racing late last year after serving a 12-month ban for an incident during a penultimate round of the MSA Formula Series in Silverstone in 2015. When he was contesting the European Formula 3 Championship season finale at Hockenheim. Then he was in the British Formula 3 Championship Autumn Trophy event at Snetterton. and was cleared to contest the Macau Grand Prix with Double R Racing after being monitored during the Euro F3 outing. He was previously also associated with Red Bull when he was at MSA Formula as part of the athlete scheme, much in a similar way to the British Touring Car Championship driver Andrew Jordan. Now he's joined the team's young drivers stable as the safety car is out.
Number 18, number 18.
Holding positions, car number 10 in the lead. Car number 8 in second position, Will Palmer. Yellow flag having come out just a minute ago. Keeping the tyres warm as they get around the track. Current standings, car number 10 in first position. Schwartzman, the Russian driver, ahead of car number 8 of Palmer. Car number 33, Tipton. And car number 9 of Max Deforny, coming up from 5th position onto the grid, into currently 4th position. In 5th position, it's Fertrell, who did a very good job to come up he was on the 5th row on the grids. He was quite a way back. He's managed to get up quite a few positions up into 5th position at the moment. So Max Fertrell from Tech 1 Racing, want to keep an eye out for as well in the rest of this race. Fertrell currently in 6th position in the championship on 24 points. One of the rookies this year, and Fertrell he's actually currently the highest placed rookie on the championship table with 20 points. The next one after him is Richard Vershaw on 13 points, back in 9th position in the championship. Also in qualifying, Ticktum putting in a very good time, second fastest in the second qualifying this morning with 2:03.046. And Deforny, the French driver, as we said, quite disgusted with his weekend so far. So he is hoping that he might be able to pop up a couple of positions as well and put in a decent show here. The yellow flag's still out. Age of the drivers here around about 16 years old. Of course, the average age of drivers breaking into Formula One has fallen considerably in the last few years, with the result that the quality and the duration of the apprenticeships they serve on the way up have also been reviewed. The Formula Renault 2.0 Eurocup is an incredible training ground for the stars of the future in F1. And even though most of the drivers are aged around 16, a lot of great champions, such as Alain Prost, Jacques Lafitte, Jean Ragnotti, Kimi Raikkonen, Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, or even Daniel Ricciardo, started their careers with the Formula Renault series. Of course, in recent times, there have been the likes of Robin Fries, Antonio Felix da Costa, Jean-Eric Verne, Valtteri Bottas, and of course the late and very much regretted French driver Jules Bianchi, who we used to see on the track in his Formula Renault car. Formula Renault was actually first created around 45 years ago, and since then it's developed in response to the needs of drivers hailing from karting and entry-level series. These cars, the 2-litre cars, have a 4-cylinder engine. They develop 210 brake horsepower, 7-speed sequential gearbox, and steering wheel mounted controls. The car weighs only 510 kilos and reaches a top speed of 236 kilometers per hour. Some statistics as we have the cars still behind the safety car, and we have a little bit of time to look at in a bit more depth at actually how these cars work. They do 32 gear changes per lap. And here at Silverstone, the highest G-force that they get up to is 2.59 G. As we mentioned before, starting from pole position is very important, as 46% of winners in these races started from pole. Bit of information about Silverstone. The circuit record lap for this series was put down in 2015 by Gachet with 158.265 seconds. And the best lap in qualifying here was a 156.361 in 2015 as well from Hubert. So we're seeing the cars currently. They've been putting in times in the just under the 2-minute mark. So just a little bit off those records. And today, once they get back out racing in, who knows, they might break a record or two. 25 minutes racing plus 1 lap, giving the drivers absolutely no time for a breather. Right from the moment the lights go out to the appearance of the checkered flag, it's all about attacking. And here with a circuit length of 5.891 Ks, that translates into 14 laps, or a distance of about 82 kilometers. Reminder as well, there are 3 series in the Renault series. There's the Formula Renault NEC, the Formula Renault Asia series. They're both stepping stones to the flagship Formula Renault Eurocup. Beautiful weather today for the racing. Mentioned earlier, the rain cleared in the morning to leave cloud and occasional sunny spells, and a forecast top of 15 degrees, but we've got a little bit more than that, I think, at the moment. The wind's west-southwesterly, currently at about 10 to 12 knots. Humidity is around 50%, and the sun is definitely shining for this race. Absolutely no sign of rain clouds on the horizon. We've got some big puffy cumulus clouds as the car is being towed off. Should be back racing in just a moment's time. Silverstone, the home of British motor racing, built on the site of a World War II Royal Air Force bomber station. It actually opened back in 1943. The track was first used for motorsport by a group of friends who set up an impromptu race here in 1947. One of their members lived in Silverstone village, and he said there was a deserted airfield here. Why not go and do some racing? So he and 11 other drivers raced over the circuit and managed at that time to kill a sheep and also ride off the car. And in the aftermath of that, it was called the Mutton Grand Prix. So a little bit of interesting history about the track. Of course, it's the current home of the British Grand Prix. British fans here are renowned for coming out in their droves, rain, hail or shine, for top-line races here. Another pithy fact, the overall lap record here belongs to Mark Webber, who put in a 1:33.401 in 2013. Schwartzman leading as they still went their way around behind the safety car. One of 3 Russian racers here. It's a very, very international field. We were just looking through all the nationalities of the drivers. I think the maximum number of drivers from any one country is 4. There are actually 4 Australians. I think there's only 4 French people, 4 English or British as well. As I've just been told, the safety car will be coming in this lap. And they'll be back into the racing again. Just under 9 minutes racing left as the safety car prepares to pull back into the pits. Palmer currently in second position, leading the championship. Very, very happy to have won here on home soil yesterday, hailing from Southwater, West Sussex. He is, of course, the son of the F1 driver Jonathan Palmer and the brother of Jolyon Palmer, the Renault Sport F1 driver as well. Old motorsport family, and he's no doubt making a number of them very, very proud this weekend here in Silverstone. They come in through, looks like Brooklands, preparing for the safety car to come in after Luffield and Woodcote. Preparing to come into the home straight, and they're off and running again with 7 minutes 21 left to race in this second race here in Silverstone. It's Schwartzman continuing to lead the field from Will Palmer in car number 8. Ticktum, Deforney, Furtrell, Guzman and Verschoor following them. The green flag is being waved. And it's going to be very tough running in these last few laps. They're still tussling for the third place now between Ticktum and Deforney. Deforney really putting the pressure on. Deforney coming in on the inside. Is he going to get through? Deforney in fourth position, attacking for third. Just behind him, it's Furtrell. Max Furtrell from Tech 1 Racing. Up on Palmer. Field quite well spread out already after the restart, with just 5 minutes and 46 seconds left until the final lap. So we've got just 3 or 4 laps left to race. That's car number 2 of Lewis Leeds, the Australian driver, coming back out around. To get past Maxwell. Thomas Maxwell from Tech 1 Racing in car 5. Still a tussle happening between those two, Maxwell and Leeds. Leeds from Joseph Kaufman Racing in car number 2. Leeds, of course, previously competing in the British F4 Championship. And he's a member of the Red Bull Junior team. He was in the Red Bull Junior team in 2016 before being dropped. But also putting in a very good performance at the moment here in the second race in Silverstone. Keeping on the pressure for third position with Ticktum. Under pressure from Deforney. And we have a spin. Quick replay of that one. That's that looks like Deforney going for a spin. It was Deforney. He was just putting in a bit too much pressure, unfortunately, there on Ticktum, and that has put paid to his chances for getting the third position. After coming up from a 5th place on the grid into 4th place and then attacking for third, and now he's way back in the field. Schwartzman continuing to lead. With Will Palmer just behind, less than 1 second behind, followed by Ticktum and Futrell, then Guzman, Vershaw, Leeds and Maxwell. Schwartzman starting to pull away a little bit, and Palmer not quite able to keep up as he was before. Yesterday, Palmer putting in an absolutely fantastic performance, staying way out on the lead and finishing more than 6 seconds ahead of his closest rival. You can see the front wing on that car of Ticktum. It was damaged in a tangle before. That was actually Futrell. Futrell's car number 7 was in a bit of a tangle earlier on in the race, and the front wing is definitely damaged, but he's able to keep up a pretty reasonable pace despite that. Car number 10, Schwartzman. Palmer starting to drop back a little bit from the lead as we've got 1 minute and 50 seconds left to the final lap. Ticktum in third position, 2.256 seconds away from the lead. It looks like it's going to be a very easy win for Schwartzman at the moment, who's just under a second ahead of Palmer. But with 1 minute 21 left to run, unless anything goes very wrong, it looks like that's how it's going to finish up. Palmer in car number 8, followed by car 33 of Ticktum. Futrell currently in 6th position on the championship, as we mentioned earlier on. He's currently the top rookie in the championship, so this is also going to help his championship position as well. Futrell currently in 4th position. Gabriel Aubry a little bit further behind, as Futrell keeping the pressure on. Futrell looks like he's coming on the east side. Futrell's putting in an effort to try and get round past car 33 of Ticktum. We've got an attack happening in these final stages now, with him coming through. Ticktum trying to get round to come through into 3rd position. He is in 3rd position at the moment from Futrell. Current order: Schwartzman, Palmer, Ticktum and Futrell. As Ticktum and Futrell keep the pressure on each other, toing and froing, coming through those last corners. As the two front runners dig an even bigger gap. Car 7 coming back through on the inside, but he's not going to get through. Futrell now on the outside. He just can't get through. Futrell keeping the pressure on. Will Futrell get through into 3rd position as the race draws towards its final lap? Coming through on the outside, he runs slightly off the track. Futrell in car number 7. With a wonky wing at the front, keeping on the pressure on car number 33 of Daniel Ticktum. Really get through in this final lap into 3rd position. A bit of excitement as they come through into the final moments of this race. Keeping the pressure on car number 7. Coming back on the inside. Is he going to get through? No, they closed the door. Vertrol keeping on the pressure. Vertrol in car number 7, not quite able to get through, but he's trying with all his might to get through into 3rd position. Here we've got the battle for car for the 3rd position. Coming through the loop. And just a few moments left to race. Will Vertrol be able to get around? He's trying on the outside, trying on the inside. Again on the inside, now on the inside. Vertrol putting on the pressure with just a few seconds left to race. Vertrol putting on the pressure on Ticknell, and they'll go through. It's Schwartzman, Palmer, Ticknell, and Vertrol. But what an exciting finish for 3rd position in this 2nd race of the weekend here in Silverstone. It's Schwartzman, Palmer, Ticktum, Vertrol, followed by Guzman, Verschoor, Leeds, Maxwell, Corneve, Martineau, Mattus, Tofoni, Goddard, Ye, Opmeer, Verhagen, Neubauer, Fluker, Cordial, and Simonauer. Great performance put in by Robert Schwartzman, the Russian driver from RACE GP. Keeping off the pressure from Will Palmer, who started from 4th position on the grid. And this will be good for him in the championship as well. Schwartzman currently going into this race in 3rd position in the championship. So he will still... And we go through the final result after 12 laps. Robert Schwartzman winning from Will Palmer, Daniel Ticktum, Max Vertrol, and Raul Guzman. A bit further back in the field, those 2 Chinese drivers, Sun Yu Yang, are right at the back of the field, and Yifei Ye in 14th position. Looking at that blue sky behind the panels, and it has been quite a fantastic afternoon for racing today as well. Chavez and Saucy not making it through to the end. As they come back around and prepare to come into the pit lane. And the championship getting exciting again, with Schwartzman popping up a couple of places. I think that means he'll go up into 2nd place, if I'm not wrong. Not too far behind Will Palmer. Also in the team standings, RACE GP doing very, very well at the moment with 117 points just before this race. They'll be also still way out in the lead as we go into the 3rd round of the Formula Renault Eurocup when we go to Pau next weekend in France. And a very jubilant welcome to car number 10, RACE GP, Robert Schwartzman, Russian driver, climbing out of the car, and he must be very, very chuffed after that race, which was quite a tough one despite the safety car for a few laps. Russian driver, of course, backed by SMP Racing as well. Palmer from the same team, collecting congratulations from his teammates as well. This is obviously going to propel RACE GP into a pretty tough to get position after this early part of the season in Monza and Silverstone. I know that next weekend we'll be racing in Pau in France, and that'll be followed by Monaco the following weekend. And then races in Hungaroring, Nürburgring, Red Bull Ring, Paul Ricard, Spa-Francorchamps, and then Barcelona and Catalonia. Chatting with the team. It is quite hot out there in those fire suits for the drivers, despite the fact that the actual weather conditions are not too swelteringly hot. I think it's probably about 16, 17 degrees outside, but when they get out of the cars, they are very, very hot and need a little bit of rehydration as he heads up to the podium. The second race of the weekend. Just 0.86 seconds difference between the two cars. As we stand by for an interview with our winner.
Congratulations, that looked like quite an easy win for you.
Well, it wasn't easy, to be fair. At the beginning, I don't know, for some reason I didn't make a really good start. So into turn one, Daniel was already in front of me. And then Sasha Fenestras just tried to overtake me, but I kept the line on the outside and managed to keep my second place. And then through the turn 7, I tried to make a move to Daniel around the outside, but then I think he missed on the braking, so I tried to cross over for the next corner and just brake later than him and stayed on the outside. And so for the next white corner I was on the inside, so I pushed him a bit off the line, but it was a really nice fighting. And then there was my teammate behind me, and I saw he was pushing a lot to overtake me, so I was a bit struggling in the first laps, like a bit nervous, and then just when I saw I have a little gap, I just calmed myself down and just tried to push away from the group, and then became the safety car. And it was again, but for the safety car, I wasn't nervous. I was just calm, know what I'm doing. So for the safety car restart, just made a gap to Will, and the whole race we were just having a pretty same gap and just finished the race. So massive thanks to the team, massive thanks to the fans who were supporting me. So really happy. It was an amazing race.
Congratulations, go collect your trophy.
Thank you.
And he does make it sound easy indeed. Just dig the gap and keep the gap. So of course that's the way to do it if you want to win a race. And you can take a good lesson from Schwartzman after his interview there in intricate detail, I might add, about how he managed to keep his lead in the early stages of the race. So we'll be seeing the drivers coming up onto the podium in a minute as we see a quick flashback to the race and the highlights. As they got off to quite a clear start. And from the lead, our Russian driver Schwartzman keeping the lead, but some tussling, toing and fro for the positions a bit further back. And also seeing the third position lost at that point as well. Schwartzman digging a big gap with Palmer just behind him as they continued on through. And car 13 coming off the track. No great harm done, but of course the yellow flag did come out at that point. Car number 13, Enrique Chavez, who was unfortunately out of the race. And then we saw also an incident for Max Deforny, who'd been putting on a lot of pressure in the latter stages of the race to try and get through to third position. Deforny hasn't been having a good weekend at all, and he unfortunately dropped right out of the contention for the podium at that point. Schwartzman then made it look easy. As he said, he just kept the gap and held it all the way to the end in front of Will Palmer for an easy win in the second race here in Silverstone this weekend. Albert Costa, who won the championship in 2009, will be presenting the second prize here on the podium.
Second place, number 8, the RACE GP driver, Will Palmer.
Will Palmer comes out to take the second position.
Well done, number 10, Robert Schwartzman.
And Schwartzman, very jubilant indeed.
Then the winning team manager and representing Race GP.
Race GP manager,
congratulations.
No doubt very happy indeed as well, because the team is really out a long way in the lead at the moment.
Already on the podium on the third step is Daniel Tickton. And now the national anthem for the winning driver.
As they take the national anthem for the winning driver.
Congratulations to Robert Schwartzman on the top step of the podium. The podium presentations will now take
Robert
place.
Schwartzman,
And we start the podium
the winner
presentations
here
with
in
third place
Silverstone
carrying
today.
Al-Said,
Will Palmer in
Renault
second,
Racing Customer Program
increasing his
Sporting
lead in the
Manager will
championship.
make the first presentation to third place Daniel Tickton at the far end of the podium. Thank you to Tariq Ait Said.
Tariq Ait Said giving that prize.
Congratulations come from Tariq to all the drivers. Second place presentation made by Albert Costa, Formula Renault.
As we mentioned, Albert
TVT
Costa
Eurocup winner, and he makes the presentation
giving
to
the
second
second place prize.
Palmer. Congratulations. And then John Pascal Dos, Renault Sport Racing Customer Program Director, will make the presentation to Robert Schwartzman on the top step of the podium. Delighted with
Brilliant performance for Schwartzman,
high in the air.
making it look easy, as we said, keeping a little distance from Will Palmer all the way to the end. And what a great performance for RACE GP here in Silverstone on this second race of the weekend.
Well done. Congratulations to RACE GP, and then to our winning rookie, Jean-Pascal Dos, Renault Sport Racing Customer Program Director, will make the presentation to the driver on the third step of the podium. 2 trophies for him. Daniel Tickton from Arden, well done. Congratulations. And now we have the opportunity of the official picture of all of the drivers and the representative of the winning team as well, Race GP. So a very happy
Family photo as the drivers no doubt start wondering how they're going to be preparing for their next round in France at Pau next weekend, which will be followed just the weekend after in Monaco at the same time as the Monaco Grand Prix. 2 more races in 2 more weeks, 2 more race weekends, 4 more races, as everybody agrees that this has been a very exciting and very interesting weekend, particularly for RACE GP, who've just absolutely killed it on the weekend and put in some great performances from those 2 drivers, Will Palmer and Robert Schwartzman.
The qualifying was great, and the race at the beginning was a bit tough with the fighting with Daniel and.
So there we have it, as the sun not quite sinking low over the beautiful Silverstone race facilities. And as we said, next weekend we'll be back in France at the Pau track, and following that the Monaco track for the 4th race of the season. Thanks very much for joining us this weekend. We hope you've had a great weekend with us here in Silverstone, and we look very much forward to joining you again next weekend in Pau.